Final two factors that bring a little bit of optimism on the situation of the current accounts for the United States are liquidity and property rights. So, liquidity is a property for assets that is very simple. Can I buy or sell an asset in the market without any impact on its price? That's the concept of liquidity. When we have a lot of buyers and a lot of sellers for a commodity, then the market is liquid in the sense that if I want to sell something, I'm going to find a buyer right away, and I don't have to go around and offer discounts to convince buyers to be interested in what I want to sell. And the same opposite happens for a liquid market when I'm a buyer. I don't have to go and look for a seller for a long time, but I find it right away. Financial markets in the United States tend to be extremely liquid. Finding a counterpart for a financial trade is not hard. Other financial markets across the world are not as liquid. This is one of the reasons why investors across the world tend to prefer to buy assets, financial assets in the United States rather than in developing countries, just because finding a counterpart when you need the money to, and so when you need to sell, for example, might not be that easy outside of the United States, while it's extremely easy in the States. So that could be one of the reasons why so much financial assets are flowing to the United States and are financing the current account deficits. Until other countries and other developing countries develop financial markets that are liquid, it's always probably going to be true that the United States will be the premier destination for financial investment, making sustaining the current account deficits easier. The second factor that plays an important role is the defense of property rights, which is extremely strong in the United States. In other words, investors will never be really concerned that the United States might be expropriating their investment and their assets because there's not really any historical experience of that happening in the past, and because the law system is really protecting property. This is not the same in many developing countries. The next couple slides show some examples of this. In particular, resource-rich countries, oil-rich countries, every once in a while tend to expropriate some of the resources that were in the hand of international investors. An example is Venezuela in 2007 took away assets worth $1.6 billion from Exxon, which is a United States multinational oil company. So for this reason, international investors tend to be aware of the fact that when they invest in developing countries, there is this risk or fear of expropriation. And for this reason, the United States are kind of a safe harbor where even if maybe the rate of return, the total rate of return, is not as high as in developing country, at least you know that whatever the return is, you're gonna bring it home with certainty. So that's another reason why current account deficits don't look as scary in a country like the United States, because in the foreseeable future, it doesn't seem to be plausible that international investors might be willing to pull out these financial resources.